Hello everyone. So today we'll start with types of vapor compression cycle or types of vapor compression refrigeration system. So it is also called as VCC or VCRS. Now first of which is cycle with dry saturated vapor after compression. Second is cycle with wet vapor after compression. Third is cycle with superheated vapor after compression. Fourth is cycle with superheated vapor before compression, and last is cycle with undercooling or subcooling of refrigerant. So we'll start with the first one. So first is cycle with dry saturated vapor after compression. So the same we have represented on TS diagram. Now a TS diagram is basically a temperature entropy diagram where temperature is represented by T and entropy is represented by S. Any horizontal line in this chart or in this diagram will represent constant temperature value, and any vertical line in this diagram will represent constant entropy value. Now the dome shaped region which needs to be drawn for TS diagram is having this shape. This point is known as critical point, and the line or the curve before the critical point is called as saturated liquid line, whereas the line or the curve after the critical point is called as saturated vapor line. This region before the saturated liquid line is called as liquid region. The region inside the dome shaped area is called as liquid vapor region, and the region outside the saturated vapor line is basically vapor region. So now we need to represent VCRS or VCC on the TS diagram. So we know that there are basic four processes: evaporation followed by compression followed by condensation and expansion. Evaporation in evaporator, isentropic compression in compressor, condensation in condenser, and pressure and temperature reduction process, that is expansion in expansion valve or throttling valve. Compression is represented by process 1 to 2. So this we have represented. Now condition in the which is given as cycle with dry saturated vapor after compression. So we know that process 1 to 2 is of compression. So process point 2 is the point after the compression process. So we know the condition of point 2 that it is dry saturated. So any point on the saturated liquid line will give us saturated liquid values, and any point on saturated vapor line will give us saturated vapor values. So point 2 needs to be drawn on saturated vapor line because cycle with dry saturated vapor after compression is mentioned. So 1 to 2 is the compression process, 2 to 3 is condensation, 3 to 4 is expansion, and 4 to 1 is evaporation. So now evaporation and condensation both are constant temperature and pressure process. So there will not be any change in the temperature and pressure during the phase change processes of evaporation and condensation. In compression, the temperature and pressure are going to be increased, whereas in expansion, the temperature and pressure of the refrigerant is going to reduce. Now we know that any point on this line, saturated liquid line, will give us saturated liquid values. So saturated liquid is represented by means of F. F is representing fluid or liquid, and G is representing gas or vapors. So S1 is equal to S2. As we know that compression is isentropic. So isentropic compression means there is no change in entropy of point 1 and 2. So S1 will be equal to S2. Now we can see that point 4 and point 1 are inside the liquid vapor region, that is inside the dome shaped area. So they are having a particular value of dryness fraction which represent their condition. So S1 and S4 needs to be calculated through this formula. So S1 is equal to SF1 plus X1 SFG1, where SFG1 is nothing but SG1 minus SF1. So in similar way we need to calculate the value of S4 as well. S4 is equals to SF4 plus X4 SFG4. Now it is very important to note that SF1 and SF4 are going to be equal because both the points are on the same temperature line. So SF value for 0.4 and 0.1 will be same. So SF1 will be equal to SF4 and in similar way SG1 will be equal to SG4. So these values will be same. S1 and S4 will be same and SFG1 and SFG4 will be same. Just the difference will be of the dryness fraction value. X1 will be different and X4 will be different. So S1 and S4 needs to be calculated through these formulas. Coming on to S2. So S2 is equals to SG2. So SG2 is nothing but the dry saturated value of the entropy. So S2 is equals to SG2 at temperature T2. So we will be getting direct value of S2 as SG2. In similar way, we will be getting direct value of S3 as SF3 at T3. So this is how we represented the VCRS wherein the condition was dry saturated vapor after compression on TS diagram. So now I have written a note that we get F values on saturated liquid line for corresponding temperature and G values on saturated vapor line for corresponding temperature. So this statement is applicable either to TS diagram or to pH diagram both. So next is the representation of the same on pH diagram. So I have represented the whole process on pH diagram as well. So we can see that process 1 to 2 isentropic process is of compression. 0.2 we are getting on saturated vapor line. 2 to 3 is condensation. So we are getting 0.3 on the saturated liquid line. 3 to 4 is the expansion. 4 to 1 is evaporation again. So now it is important to note here that 3 to 4 is the isenthalpic process because expansion is occurring at constant enthalpy. So 3 to 4 is isenthalpic process, means there will not be any change in enthalpy. That's why we have written as H3 equals to H4. H3 we will be getting directly as HF3 because point number 3 is on saturated liquid line. I have drawn horizontal lines here to represent constant pressure. So P2 and P3 will be same and P1 and P4 will be same. Now H1 as it is inside the dome shaped region, so it is calculated through this formula as HF1 plus X1 HFG1. H2 will be getting directly as HG2 at T2 and H3 will be getting as HF3 at T3. So HF as point number 3 is on saturated liquid line, so we will be getting direct value as HF3. Now these HF3, HG, these HF and HG values needs to be found out either from needs to be found out from the property table or on the pH chart. So now H4 is also on the liquid vapor region, so that's why H4 we have calculated through this formula. H3 and H4 will be same because enthalpy the expansion process is isenthalpic. So again I have mentioned here that HF and HG means what? So HF is enthalpy of fluid or liquid and Hg is enthalpy of gas or vapor condition. SF is entropy of fluid or liquid and Hg is entropy of gas or vapor. So this is all about cycle with dry saturated vapor after compression. Now next is theoretical vapor compression cycle with wet vapor after compression. So theoretical vapor compression cycle with wet vapor after compression. So again I have drawn both the diagrams here. So firstly mentioning the vapor compression cycle with wet vapor after compression on TS diagram. So important thing to note here is that we need to have wet vapor after compression. That means the vapor condition of refrigerant which we are getting after compression should have a particular dryness fraction value. So that's why 0.1 to 2 as it is isentropic compression, we have drawn a vertical line here. So after compression again condensation, expansion and evaporation process are there. We have used the same notations as 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 1. Again we know that isentropic compression, therefore S1 is equals to S2. S1 needs to be calculated through this formula as it is inside dome shaped region, that is in liquid vapor region. S2 again it is inside dome shaped region, liquid vapor region, so we need to calculate it through this formula. SF3 we are getting on the saturated liquid line, so that's why S3 is equals to SF3 at T3. 0.4 is again on liquid vapor region, so that's why S4 needs to be calculated in this way. In similar fashion, we have represented the same process on the pH diagram. So pH diagram is pressure enthalpy diagram. So any horizontal line in this diagram will represent constant pressure, whereas any vertical line in this process will represent constant enthalpy. Same thing we have done here as well. 0.2 we have drawn inside the liquid vapor region. So that's why during the calculation of H2, we have used this formula. H2 is equals to HF2 plus X2 HFG2. Other things are same. H1 and H4 are inside the dome shaped region, so they are calculated in same way. H3 and H4 are equal because of expansion process. H3 is equals to HF3 as we are getting it on the saturated liquid line. So again, one more thing is that we can calculate the value of SFG through the formula HFG by T. SFG1, similarly SFG1 can be represented as HFG1 by T1. So if in the numericals the direct value of either HFG is not given or SFG is not given or any value is missing, so this formula can be utilized for the same purpose. So next condition is of theoretical vapor compression cycle with superheated vapor after compression. So I have drawn TS diagram for representing the same. So now the condition which is mentioned is theoretical vapor compression cycle with superheated vapor after compression. So we need to have superheated vapor after compression. That means after compression our point 2 should be in a vapor region, completely vapor region. It should not be wet. So for representing point 2 in vapor region, we have drawn point 2 here. Now starting from point 2, so again we know that we need to represent all 4 processes here. So 1 to 2 is the isentropic compression, where point 2 we are getting in the superheated region or in the vapor region, basically in superheated condition we'll be getting. So 1 to 2 is the isentropic compression. 2 to 2 dash is nothing but de-superheating. So 2 to 2 dash is reduction of the temperature from T2 to T2 dash. So this is the point 2 dash which we are getting on the saturated vapor line. So 2 dash to 3 is the condensation, 3 to 4 is again expansion, and 4 to 1 is evaporation as previously. So the single difference which we are having for this condition as compared to the previous cases is that point 2 should be there in the vapor region. So we need to calculate S2 by means of the formula as Sg2 plus Cpg ln T2 by T dash. So this is the formula which should be used for calculation of entropy value in the superheated region. So we, as we know that compression is isentropic, so S1 is equals to S2. S1 is equals to Sg1 as it is on saturated vapor line. S2 needs to be calculated through this formula Sg2 plus Cpg ln T2 by T2 by T2 dash. So T2 and T2 dash will be mentioned in the question, or this formula can be utilized for calculating any missing value out of these values. So T2 after T2 dash we will be reaching to T3. So T2 dash to T3 is nothing but the condensation process. So now S2 dash is nothing but Sg2 only at the temperature T2 dash. S2 dash is Sg2 at T2 dash. S3 is again SF3 and S4 is calculated in same way. Now the representation of this condition on pH diagram. So representation of this condition on pH chart. So we have drawn this type of dome shaped region, represented all processes on the pH chart, considering that point 2 should be in the vapor region. So 1 to 2 is isentropic compression, 2 to 2 dash is nothing but de-superheating or temperature reduction from T2 to T2 dash. T2 dash to 3 or T2 dash to T3 we are reaching for condensation. So 3 to 4 is nothing but expansion and 4 to 1 is evaporation. So again here we will be calculating various enthalpy values. So H1 will be equal to Hg1 at T1. H2, now H2 is in superheated region, so it is to be calculated in such a way that H2 is equals to Hg2 plus Cpg T2 minus T2 dash. So H2 dash, now next is H2 dash. So H2 dash will be, as it is on saturated vapor line, so it will be Hg2. H2 dash will be equal to Hg2 at T2 dash. H3 will be equal to HF3. H4 will be equal to HF4 plus X4 HFG4 as 0.4 is on. See here now only 0.4 is in liquid vapor region. Other points are either on saturated vapor line or saturated liquid line or in superheated region. Only 0.4 is inside the liquid vapor region. That's why we have used this formula only for calculation of H4. So H2 can be rewritten as H2 dash because Hg2 is nothing but H2 dash. So H2 can be rewritten as H2 dash plus Cpg into T2 minus T2 dash. So this is all about theoretical vapor compression cycle with superheated vapor after compression. So next condition is of theoretical vapor compression cycle. Theoretical vapor compression cycle with superheated vapor before compression. So previous condition was superheated vapor after condition, but after compression, but now we need to have superheated vapor before compression. So again we have drawn TS diagram here. We have represented all processes considering that the point 1 which is before compression, it should be in the superheated region. So now we are having 4 temperature values here. Why 4 I am saying? Because T1 dash and T4 are equal. T1 is separate, T2 dash and T3 are equal, and T2 is separate. So process 1 to 2 is in superheated region only, is in vapor region only. So 1 to 2 is the isentropic compression. 2 to 2 dash, 2 to it is 2 dash point. So 2 to 2 dash is nothing but again desuperheating, followed by 2 dash to 3 of condensation. 3 to 4 is expansion and 4 to 1 dash is evaporation. So again 1 dash to 1 is nothing but superheating before the compression. So this is what we want in this condition, theoretical vapor compression cycle with superheated vapor before compression. So vapor should be superheated before the compression process. So now as we know that compression is isentropic, so S1 is equal to S2. S1 again S1 and now S1 and S2 both are in superheated region. So this formula needs to be applied to a calculation of S1 and S2 both. S1 is equals to Hg1 plus Cpg into ln of T1 by T1 dash. T1 higher temperature divided by lower temperature. So again in similar way we will calculate S2. So S2 is equals to Sg2 plus Cpg into ln of T2 by T2 dash. So again higher temperature divided by lower ln of higher temperature divided by lower temperature. S3 is nothing but SF3. S4 is equals to SF4 plus X4 HFG4 as 0.4 is in liquid vapor region. So this formula is applied for calculation of S4. Now same thing we have done for pH diagram as well. So I have represented here 2 pressures. P2, P2 dash, P3 will be same as desuperheating and condensation will occur at constant pressure, and evaporation and superheating will occur at constant pressure, same pressure, P1, P1 dash and P4. So now 1 to 2 is isentropic compression, 2 to 2 dash is desuperheating, 2 dash to 3 is condensation, 3 to 4 is expansion, 4 to 1 is evaporation, and 1 dash to 1 is superheating. So we have calculated enthalpy such as H1 dash which will be equal to Hg1 as it is on saturated vapor line. H1 needs to be calculated in such a way because H1 is in superheated region. So H1 is equals to Hg1 plus Cpg into T1 minus T1 dash, higher temperature minus lower temperature. H2 again it is in superheated region, therefore H2 is equals to Hg2 plus Cpg into T2 minus T2 dash. H2 dash is on saturated vapor line, so H2 dash is equals to Hg2 plus Hg2 at T2 dash. Now H3.3 is on saturated liquid line, so H3 will be equal to HF3. 3 to 4 is expansion process, which is constant enthalpy process, so H3 will be equal to H4. Again, if we want to calculate H4 or any missing value, so we can use the same formula. H4 is equals to HF4 plus X4 into HFG4. So this is about theoretical vapor compression cycle with superheated vapor before compression. So next is the condition of theoretical vapor compression cycle with undercooling or subcooling of refrigerant. So undercooling or subcooling of refrigerant means further temperature reduction after condensation. So temperature reduction after condensation is nothing but cooling, subcooling or undercooling. So for this condition, see, we have again represented all four processes such as evaporation, followed by 1 to 2 is isentropic compression, 2 to 2 dash is desuperheating, 2 dash to 3 dash is condensation, 3 dash to 3 is nothing but subcooling or temperature reduction from 3 dash to 3, 3 to 4 is expansion, and 4 to 1 will be evaporation. So we can see here that if subcooling would have not been done, that means 3 dash to 4 dash would have been the expansion, then the evaporation or the phase change, that means the refrigerating effect which we are getting without subcooling would have been less, that is from 4 dash to 1, but after doing subcooling we are getting more refrigerating effect. So refrigerating effect is more for process 4 to 1. So now as isentropic compression is there, S1 will be equal to S2. Again S1 is Sg1 as it is on saturated vapor line. S2 is Sg2 plus Cpg ln of T2 by T2 dash. S2 dash is nothing but Sg2 at T2 dash. So I have written again value of S2 by changing Sg2 as S2 dash. So S2 will become as S2 dash plus Cpg ln of T2 by T2 dash. S3 dash will be equal to SF3 dash at T3 dash. S3 will be equal to SF3 at T3. SF4 as it is in liquid vapor region, so it needs to be calculated through this formula, and if required this can be calculated, but I have just written it here. So again same thing can be represented on the pH chart in such a way that from point 1 to 2 again isentropic compression. So H1 is equal to Hg1. H2 needs to be calculated through the formula which we use for superheated values. H2 dash will be equal to Hg2. H3 dash will be equal to HF3 at T3 dash. H3 will be equal to H3 dash minus Cpf into T3 dash minus T3. So now this is the formula which needs to be used for calculation of H3. H3 is in completely liquid region. So see the value which if the particular point is on saturated liquid line, then we take it as HF3 directly. But now it is in liquid region, so this formula needs to be taken. H3 is equals to HF3 dash minus Cpf, Cp of fluid or liquid. HF3 dash minus Cpf into T3 dash minus T3, T3 dash minus T3. So HF3 dash is nothing but H3 dash. So I have again written this formula as H3 equals to H3 dash minus Cpf into T3 dash minus T3. Because of expansion process, H3 will be equal to H4. So H3 is equals to H4. H4 can be calculated through HF4 plus X4 HFG4. So here important thing to note down is that Cpg and Cpf both values are different. Cpg can also be written as Cpv, that is Cp of gas or vapor. CPF can also be written as CPL, that is CP of fluid or liquid. So this is all about types of vapor compression cycle. Thank you.